In the investing world, there is no bigger name than Warren Buffett, the owner of the world's largest investment firm, Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire's returns in the past quarter century have been north of 1,100%. Its performance, led by Buffett and his right-hand man, Charlie Munger, have entrenched the firm into the investing Hall of Fame. When Berkshire makes a buy or a sell, the market reacts out of respect. Every year in Omaha, Nebraska, Berkshire holds its infamous shareholder meeting where Warren and Charlie take questions of all kinds from a vast audience and announce the status of the business, the state of the economy, and the expected future growth of the firm. This year's meeting was particularly special as events unfolding around the world have put extreme stress on the markets. The media and investors alike were extremely eager to hear from the world's most infamous investor. But before we begin to examine his thoughts from the 2020 meeting, let's backtrack a couple decades to set the framework necessary to understand Berkshire's mindset. One of Warren's core principles is to never bet against America. You can hear him talk about it in this clip.
You might say that our underlying premise, and I think it's a pretty sound underlying premise, is that this country will do very well. And in particular, it will do well for business. Business has done very well. The Dow went from 66 to 10,000 plus in the 100 years of the 20th century, and we had 2 world wars and nuclear bombs and flu epidemics and you name it, Cold War. There's always problems in the future. There are always opportunities in the future, and in this country, the opportunities have won out over the problems over time.
This idea that America always overcomes obstacles and problems is engraved in Berkshire's philosophy and part of the reason it's been so successful. It's also another reason why Buffett and Munger have always been, for the vast majority of their existence, a net buyer of stocks. This means they're always looking to buy more and have always maintained that any downfalls in prices are just opportunities for more buying. You can hear Warren talk about it in his recent interview with CNBC.
You said just a few minutes ago when we asked you on Worldwide Exchange, right now Berkshire Hathaway is a net buyer of stocks. You are in a net buying position?
We've been a net buyer of stocks, or I've actually been a personal net buyer of stocks ever since I was 11, every year. There's been 15 American presidents in my lifetime, more than a third. I've lived under a third of the life. I didn't buy stocks under Hoover. I was only about 6 months old then. But there have been 7 Republicans after that and 7 Democrats. I bought stocks under every one of them. Now, I haven't bought stocks every day. There have been a few times I thought stocks were really quite high. And I've even written an article once or twice, but that's very seldom.
But you wrapped up your partnership at one point.
I wrapped up my partnership once.
Because you thought it was too expensive.
Yeah.
This point is important to remember as we go forward and speak about Berkshire in 2020 and beyond. Another important fact is Berkshire's belief in the United States Federal Reserve, acting as the insurance policy for America's economy. Warren believes strongly in the Fed and its powers, while admitting that the format we're currently under has never been before tried in history and continues to be an ongoing experiment of sorts. Here he is summarizing this point.
When they actually, if they actually try to deleverage the Fed, I mean, what has happened is the American public deleveraged and the government leveraged up through the Fed. If the Fed deleverages that in any big way, that will be a new experiment. And
but Warren, as we were talking earlier, the question is, when they do that, the economy has to be growing faster. And the piece people don't take into account is they're clear that they're going to stay there until the economy grows faster.
And he has no pressure on him. In fact, the Fed is the greatest hedge fund in history. I mean, you've got $1.1 trillion financed by currency and circulation, which doesn't cost anything, and they got about $1.8 trillion or $1.9 trillion for the banks at 25 basis points. And I mean, the Fed is going to make $80 billion or something like that. The Fed is the 4th largest contributor to the United States government's revenues that there is now. That wasn't the case a few years back, but it's 80 or 90 billion a year probably. And it is under no pressure, none whatsoever, to have to deleverage. So it can pick its time, and if you have somebody wise there, and I think Bernanke's wise, and I certainly expect his successor to be, it can be handled. But it is something that's never quite been done on this scale. It'll be interesting to watch.
So now that you have some of the core principles down, we can talk about the recent 2020 shareholder meeting. Warren this year has been a net seller of stocks, and it has left analysts speculating on his true thoughts about the future of the country in the midst of this wild health crisis. He sold 100% of his stake in American Airlines, United, Delta, and Southwest, saying that there are too many planes and that the world has changed for the airlines. This obviously has left some people criticizing the firm for its apparent backtrack on betting on America. Berkshire still holds a lot of cash, specifically $137 billion. This giant pile has just been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for something. This wait is driving some to the conclusion that the state of the market is extremely overvalued and that an incoming crash is what Berkshire is waiting for. They have only deployed their cash in one big way during this downfall, buying up natural gas giant Dominion Energy in a massive $10 billion deal. When asked to comment on why he has not been spending more, Warren stated, "We have not done anything because we don't see anything that's attractive to do." Buffett is well known to choose his words carefully, as he understands that his comments can quickly erode the market overall. What to make out of Berkshire's 2020 shareholder meeting is anyone's guess. Overall, I believe in the phrase, "put your money where your mouth is." It's clear that Berkshire, as of right now, believes the market is heavily overvalued, and parking his cash on the sidelines is a clear indication that they're waiting on some sort of dip or opportunity to arrive. Throughout history, Buffett and Berkshire have always had cash on hand when all hell was breaking loose. He bought during every single economic crisis in US history, and I'm sure when the next one arises, alive or not, Berkshire will be deploying its massive cash pile while everyone else runs around panicking. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to enjoy more videos like this, and let me know your thoughts on the state of the market when looking at the rest of 2020.